Map up, the same map up as they were last time in Rio. They were 2 rounds away from beating this team last year, but the FURIA machine really started sputtering its last breaths on the second map of that series. This isn't just their chance to complete the revenge arc, this is their chance to do it with conviction. Their map pick, Mirage, and a T-side start.
And they're popping right out at ramp as well. cadiaN's on a big lurk. He was the guy to look out for on the last map, and he'll be in the backlines for Heroic later. sjuush over the smoke, attempts some taps, but FURIA take a lot of space in this site. cadiaN's yet to go. Heroic doubting it somewhat. They've still got numbers towards B. They haven't seen the bomb yet. It's finally coming through, safe with the spot. cadiaN passes that info along, and now the panic comes in. Heroic run around the world. There is no kit right now, and they need this tap desperately. They can't find it through the smoke, and now the danger on the clock.
Heroic on the back foot here. They're going to try and give a bit of time to stavn on this wrap round. Jabbi's only just cleared out top mid, so this is going to be a delayed retake here from Heroic. Someone might need to fill the boots, and sjuush is the man to open up. Gets that ball rolling. Nirvana is now siding with Heroic. The trades go either which way. They're getting softened up, but they are winning the fights. That's where it matters. FURIA just playing around the defuse, but it's being held, it's being stuck, and even for cadiaN here, not a way into this round. It's sjuush. Lights out to open up Mirage for Heroic, and he's going to be someone that's got to keep this form going if they do want to cook up a reply here.
Yeah, Heroic finally winning pistol rounds is a good sign to see in this series. If Art actually took that shot to the defuser, he probably would have won the round there. Tessus was the lowest player on the stick, but too many targets for Art, and Heroic land the must-needed shots with seconds to spare. FURIA coming with a force buy, known for their wacky investments on Mirage. I mean, this was a team, at least back when Henny was in the roster, that was prioritizing triple orb when they could on the CT side. So we'll see what kind of ideas FURIA bring to a round where you lack the util, but more than make up for it in the firepower. Heroic know this is coming. There is no doubt. 5 rifles back the other way. Range is the name of the game. And FURIA go awfully slow in this second round, trying to take mid together. As the window smoke comes in, Yuri can pounce from below. stavn gets that spot, but it's only protocols for Heroic, just trying to slow down this oncoming tide. It's inevitable. But can Heroic buy a few seconds?
Well, both teams are very limited util as a result of the investments that we have, right? So everything had to be very intentional. And FURIA getting out into mid behind the limited util they had. They start to get this control now, but this is where Heroic are trying to bridge this gap, right? Oh, the spam damage is good. cadiaN's a little softened now, and he's going to get out of position, but that allows Art to move through this smoke at the top of Con. Trying his best to walk this line for the backstab. It's stavn with a turnaround. Gets the better of Yuri. The rest of FURIA are up in A, but Heroic are holding on to the extremities. Safe trades, but it's not clean yet. Not clean cut. Safe makes it so. 4v3. The wrap is coming in up through ramp. Tessus has this round in the palm of his hand, and he'll land that kill onto drop, leaving FURIA 2v3. Playing around the bomb again is their best chance here. cadiaN wasn't able to really attempt the clutch in the pistol, but he's got a much better platform in this one. Down from the connector, he opens up, and Safe is just playing for time. sjuush runs at him, and will stick this defuse, stealing away this round, denying that clutch attempt, and putting a stop to Safe in the 1v1.
He had to bridge too far. He knows he can get spammed through that corner, but he had so much health. He just jumps the gun on the reface. You're hoping you can catch the last player running at you, right? Going for the clear, but good patience in a 1v1. Safe doesn't have it on the counter. And FURIA, that was a big opportunity. Allowed as well by cadiaN, who chooses to isolate fights extremely well in connector. And Heroic still pick it up without a kit. FURIA, it beckons them back. Another buy, more Galils.
Heroic didn't buy a kit in this one.
Well, it didn't hurt them last time. I mean, they could afford it here, though.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you expect that FURIA could buy, but it feels like they're leaning on the idea that they won't. You win the opener, none of it will come to matter if this bomb never goes down, and that's a good way to start. What a time for sjuush to arrive in the server. As mentioned, he's had a great tournament as this guy. Had a good time as of late. And so getting him switched on, getting him activated is big. Safe is creeping up, doing it all on contact here. Calling the bluff of Heroic, and they've got no idea that he's slipped the net. There's still Tessez underneath, right, that he doesn't know about. As the Tessez could just remove him from the round on a bit of a timed swing. They're really thinking about every move they make here.
Well, they desperately need a kill. They desperately need someone to overplay their hand a bit. In a 5-on-4, Heroic aren't moving a muscle, and Tess's position is the most powerful. This lurk should get nothing unless Tess's jumps the gun on the rotation. He won't. The nades do nothing to Heroic. He holds strong, and they've got mollies down at B. FURIA cannot break through right now. That's a nice kill for cadiaN, but it might be all they accomplish in this last second B hit. They don't check the boost. Jabbi hasn't turned, but I'm not worried yet, as he's ready to pounce right at the end. 3 kills, 2 for Jabbi and 3 rounds for Heroic. They're holding very strong right now. Not seeing any blasé plays, not seeing over faces, despite these very close buys for FURIA.
I mean, Heroic are a very resilient team, a very resilient bunch. And no one knows that better than FURIA. You know, you can imagine coming into this map, what happened last time in Rio, all that courses through your mind. There was this idea that FURIA just wanted to try to put that game to rest and maybe overplayed their hand to open it up. You don't want that to happen again, but you don't have much of a say in how these early rounds have panned out. cadiaN offering that faint glimmer of hope in a round that should never come through for FURIA. And with stavn nailing shots like that, it's not hard to see why. 4-0. As Heroic don't fall prey to the force buys that FURIA have offered, and I'm not surprised that they're living into it and nearly make that insane comeback happen from 15-5 down. They end up losing it in OT, and they kind of spent all they had in the tank, right? So I think in moments like this, especially when you're tenured in this position, you've been here before, Gary's going to be paramount to keep the boys on side, to keep that faith burning.
It's good to see that come through early, but Heroic, man, they look reset and refreshed right now in this second map. And I think, you know, for one side of the coin is Heroic, there's kind of less pressure in that sense. They're expected to lose at this point in the series. FURIA have been here before, like you say. Heroic have nothing to lose. They can let the dogs off the leash. Some really nice shots we're seeing right now out of sjuush and stavn with that spray. And Heroic are making more active moves now as well. Confidence starting to boil. cadiaN boosted B, a mid-fight that is avoided for now. FURIA take their time to take their fights. Tessez will bring it to them. Oh, if he swings it, AWP is here. It's covering Tessez that he has seen, but it's still the rifle that comes up top trumps. Tessez can't get it done for 2. And drop is allowed to escape with that flash. FURIA must reroute. They've seen a lot of presence at B right now, but they've got no lurkers out A. This is going to hamstring them a little bit. Backup cat, con smoke in, cadiaN's here.
The shot from that AWP does let them get closer, but with Jabbi holding on to the apartments, not giving them a ways in there, and mid getting cleaned up. This is looking real nice for Heroic here. stavn even floating around, waiting for this next man in. cadiaN, always a menace. If you give him a 1v1 like that, will at least deliver something for FURIA to work with in this moment. Jabbi is moving up onto the catwalk. He's held off by a Molotov right now, and he might have missed these timings on the players making it up through con. cadiaN's got him locked into a fight, but got to have eyes in the back of his head, does cadiaN here. Safe is trying to alleviate that pressure now by taking a bit of control over towards jungle. This gives up a way in at CT. That gives sjuush a little bit more freedom to try and make a move. And Jabbi decides he doesn't want to take this short fight. He doesn't want to give them this chance at thinning the herd. He goes in groups with his teammate.
No way he's wrapping. This is going to take so long, and I don't think there's even enough time for this. Safe is basically in a 1v3 right now, and they've got a kit. sjuush with a tap. He looks for the kill, and it comes to him, but he dies immediately. That might be it. I think they've done enough. It's going to be so close. cadiaN running in, trying to save the day, but he can't do it. And Heroic stick the bomb. They get the round. That was so close.
That is heartbreaking for FURIA, man. Like, Heroic feel fantastic at the end of that. They feel great right now. The fact they even had the read on cadiaN coming up the ramp, it feels like a moment of clairvoyancy for someone like cadiaN. But for the other side, FURIA take a big gamble to rotate and pull cadiaN out. They put full faith in Safe to hold off and buy time for that wrap. It was all set for cadiaN to close because that's normally where this guy excels. And it falls on deaf ears.
That's a brutal round to lose. That's a horrible round to lose for FURIA. Jabbi not ready for them up mid. He's looking at the B apartments because they're putting flashes through. That creates a distraction. I'll get in very quickly, as we know he does. sjuush trying to put up a defense. Those smokes give a wall for Heroic to take space, but FURIA are deep as well. cadiaN gets his vengeance. A 4-on-3, a weird round so far with players caught looking the wrong way. But now eyes on the prize, eyes forward, with Cat covered from Yuri's position. Market was the only way in, but Heroic want a way out. They want to save.
Well, I think, FURIA breathing a sigh of relief, right? I think, if you failed in that 1v2 in the round prior and then you have Heroic continuing to rack up this round count, you could look at FURIA just being a bit out of it. It's hard to pull yourself back into a game after some of these rounds come down to the wire. You feel like you've had opportunities but just failed to capitalize on them, and you were kind of steamrolled over the first 5 of this game, but then you cook up something as simple as a little B split with some util raining over the apartments, let the individual shine a little bit, and you're up on the board. An important time for FURIA to field this round. I don't think it could have came at a better time.
Yeah, now they'll be ready for anything, though, Heroic, right? That pace change definitely caught Jabbi off guard. Only seen super slow mid-takes and, waiting for the underplayers to come out first. This time, Art brings a bit more finesse. Heroic are caught with their pants down. So, 5-1. FURIA don't wait too long.
Yeah, I think if you're FURIA, you're fine with this time. Like, you're actually quite happy, I imagine, that you're not using one of your own, but you still get to have Gary in your ears, kind of telling you, all right, this is where it begins. This is where we build back in. You've got to focus on the challenge that lays ahead of you here. And it's a big one, right? This is Heroic coming in, as we say, with a point to prove. They also have history in Rio. While we're looking at the kind of revenge storyline for FURIA, especially after they open with a convincing game of Inferno, Heroic have grand ambitions. They made it all the way to the final only to get decimated by outsiders there and end up losing on the major stage here in the Janus Arena.
Yeah, if you think boos are enough to make Heroic cower, you don't know what you're up against. FURIA going for a more standard round. They failed the smoke in T-spawn. That was meant to be a window, so they've already wasted some good utility. They're going to pop out ramp here. stavn with a missed shot. Second orb, we talked about the multitudes of these snipers on a map like Mirage, and Heroic bring them in early to a great degree, finding Safe for the pick. stavn does a double in, and he finds 3 in the round to lock FURIA out of this site. Great shots for cadiaN, but a 1v5 is too much to ask.
Yeah, surely, right? One man against it all, the one-man army of FURIA. And even though he's found the first, hang on, that nade baits him in and sets sjuush up from over on the Palace to put a stop to that. When cadiaN opens with 2, you give him the respect. You say, all right, you don't want him to have one of those cadiaN rounds. Heroic slow their roll, and they really think, how can we manipulate him to play right into our hands?
Yeah, you saw that moment where you cool it off, right? When you lose 2 players immediately, you're not trying to repeat, you're not trying to trade, you want to communicate, you want to set up and make sure you figure out who's facing first, who's swinging off whose contact, and so Heroic do it perfectly. Anti-clutch. Very important round to get the ball rolling yet again, but the pace change has been the only way in for FURIA. They're in connector already. cadiaN getting locked out with the nades. Art's in window. I don't think cadiaN is ready for this. He does check it, but Art hits a banger onto the zoom. A 5v4 for FURIA maintained, and more where that came from. Drop deals with aggressive B. And so Heroic already forced into a predicament. Someone's got to make a play. Tessa's attempts it, Art evades it, and groups up with a team, leaving cadiaN to cover the murder hole. Why do they call it this, you ask? And that's why. Easy pickings, Heroic walk into crosshairs, and now stavn must put on a show.
Yeah, one man back at the site, overwhelming odds against him, and so FURIA brush him aside with ease. They cook up a response again, and you pointed it out, but it's on the back of this pace change. Straight down through middle, a little faster, a little more FURIA, and they stick the landing on it. sjuush wants to try get out with this AK. FURIA are not in a giving mood. Look at the minimap. They are all moving in for the hunt. A lot of teams would just try and keep their own money clean here, but they want to take this gun out. They want to make a statement. And so it's Drop delivering a round to FURIA, a hat trick from him.
And they've got to build off this. They have to now, right? We're at that point where, sure, Heroic are still going to buy in. They could even have an AWP if cadiaN wants to prioritize that, but there will be players on pistols. There will be players with less. And so Heroic far from comfortable. This is where FURIA can really warm into the game. Their map pick, remember, their chance to end the series, to find semi-finals, but stavn, quick boost out under, takes that opening kill. Ooh, R just runs right by. He wants nothing to do with those two players. He looks for the gap, but they found him. Chased down in con, saved with a pick on the A site in the meantime, but he's had to, onto middle, he swapped onto the AK. The bomb right now is making every risk in the round. If Drop dies, it is done.
Oh, they're not looking over towards under. I mean, Tesses has already done them in multiple times from this position. It can't afford to go unchecked again. It cannot afford to be overlooked by FURIA, especially not as they are grinding away back into this round.
Oh, no.
It might have started slow. They can finish strong if they clear Tesses. He misses the opportunity with the deagle. He's given them the warning shots, and they're going to capitalize on it. cadiaN, the captain, capable in the clutch, delivers the first. Serato going around the world and back again. Gonna try put some distance between himself and this AWP, but this leaves the site with no one in it. cadiaN doesn't know it, but right now he could have even stuck that bomb. Tap does not bait a peek, and so second by second, cadiaN knows he can't do this. Surely, one man left standing, safes him behind him. cadiaN reads and leads by example. He rises to his feet. He knows what he's just done. The big bad villain in Brazil finds another round for Heroic and destroys the hopes and dreams of FURIA. What a clutch from Casper, cadiaN, Muller.
It will never get old. It will never get old. The Jester laughs every second of the way. Those shots are decimating, and FURIA cannot avoid it. They cannot forget about it. Turning this arena into a library yet again is cadiaN. And this is no longer a laughing matter. Heroic are here to play on the second map. They look to do it again. Not once, but twice on an attempt at a reverse sweep. And there was no room for error. He checked every flank.
Oh, everything had to be perfect. Every timing had to be hit. And you can tell he knows what he's just done. He knows that in that moment, everyone in the room hates this man, and he relishes in that.
Like we said, booze will not be enough. That is just fuel for Heroic's fire. Oh, he's back for more. Bye-bye, Serato. Thanks for trying. 2 health. Lucky to be alive. cadiaN making plays early. And plays like that bring a smile to your face. He's got more double face. Oh! Rips them both off!
Okay, bit of fire out of Drop, bit of fire in the belly for FURIA. They needed someone to bring the mental back, to bring the game back. And the stars aligned for Drop there. You know you don't get openers like that often.
Blimey.
And so just going tit for tat with Heroic right now. Once more, wants this to be a statement round win. He's not content with just putting one on the board. He wants this to be punishing for his opponent as well. He knows that that last round comes down to one man going above and beyond. And while that felt like robbery, that felt like disaster in the moment, you can still capitalize on this by removing some of these guns. He'll never be given the chance to. They're all grouped at ramp and he's up in Palace. But even him trying speaks that FURIA, they want these rounds to be punishing and they want to keep bringing the pressure, bringing the heat.
Yeah, it's the perfect way to reset after just the most despicable round that you've ever seen. But it is the first of many needed on this T side for FURIA. Concessions must be made to scout an MP9 or two, but a B stack. Heroic with a good opener. Oh, it's going to get spammed through. cadiaN sees that coming. He's going to drop his smoke. They're starting to run through. FURIA with nothing to wait for. cadiaN gets into the site, but at what cost? The smoke's only now landing too little and too late. Heroic holding strong again, and we need another clutch up. It's not going to happen. 1v4 here for Yuri for the ace. They jump, they feed the beast, and they might live to regret it.
1 HP for Yuri. 1 sliver of health, and sjuush is looking to deny this round. Dead as he rounds the corner. And with him finding his first 3 in the entire game there, Yuri was not the safe bet to clutch that. They feed him a couple of kills, but Heroic is so good at flipping that switch, of playing it a little safer, playing to deny the clutch attempts.
Yeah, I got a bit scared there for a second, Harry. Couple swings too far for Heroic. Ard's going right out ramp. It's again the pace for FURIA. It's really been one of, if not the only way in, and Ard continues to run rampant. He won't last long. stavn with a nice shot. Too low off that kill. cadiaN keeps it cool, and FURIA right now look to take control of this site. There's no smoke for spawn. Jabbi can change everything right now, but that molly's a problem. It will spread. He has to smoke it. They spam him back. Jabbi's trapped. But FURIA still getting dealt blow after blow. Heroic come hounding down, and they take every single kill. 9-3 right now. The Danes are on the recovery arc. And you have to wonder at this point in the series, with the clutches coming through, with the rounds we're seeing out of Heroic, with FURIA getting desperate with rushes, are they feeling that burn? This is a roster who, as we said, have not had many opportunities on the big stage, but even when they had, they've come up short. They've only won 2 BO3s when you put them on stages, back at Dallas, and of course here at Rio last year against Na'Vi. Heroic have got that experience. They did it online. They brought it back to LAN. And they have improved every step of the way.
Having a round here. 2 from him, the nade in support. He's got backup every step of the way. Taking a bit of a swing. He will end up falling to safe, but a backstab for stavn. Rotates arriving. Safe's right here. And he's heard this. Cognizant that the flank is coming. They're going to give some time to Art. Is he really going to try and flank this? That would be such an Art play to try and disrupt this big push from stavn by flanking it himself, but he's going slow, he's going low. And this is going to waste precious time for FURIA, but this is a very Art play.
Oh, he checked it. He heard it, but it's not enough. Art still hits that headshot on stavn rotating out, and they know the Heroic were in the bomb site. They were firing off. It's a double flank. Tessa's now sets up. Jabbi has time to get inside of the site, and FURIA go for the balcony. If Jabbi plays under, if he plays inside, he should surely get 1-for-1, if not every single bit. FURIA must contact, Art must trade, and then he must clutch.
So he's going to go get fed to the wolves, and Jabbi's hungry for it. They line up for him. And that round, with its flanks on flanks, while the stakes had never been higher, goes the way of the Danes. They get a wide berth into the lead here. While FURIA were hopeful in the early stages of Mirage, while they were cooking up a couple of rounds here and there, they've not been able to embark on these streaks like Heroic have. And that has left them dry, that has left them lacking. The momentum is going against FURIA. They are panicking that this might be history repeating itself. It's all overwhelming. And Heroic are galvanized within this pressure chamber. They are reaffirmed that they are still in this series. And they are showing that in the server. FURIA, time is running out to recover this first half. 5 is all they can get now. And that is the exact scenario they were in the last times these teams met in Rio.
And they brought it all the way back from 15-5 to an overtime affair that they still fell in. It wasn't enough then, and I don't know if it will be now. We look like we're seeing a different Heroic. Not scared by the crowd, not scared by the pressure, or their opponents continuing to make plays and take faces off. Jabbi gets up top mid, cadiaN won't miss a shot, and that's a massive talking point. This guy has had a shaky tournament. We've seen some poor maps for cadiaN where he's whipping the easy ones. But right now, in this library, he's reading the right book. Comfortable on this CT side. And FURIA, every round feels like it's a 2v4, 2v5. Odds too big to bear. But is this play too much?
Oh, ambitious on the peak for Tesses. Yuri going on a late game recovery arc, right? He was very slow to open up. Gets his first few kills in that attempt at the 1v5 clutch. But if he can dig deep, offer something up, he was the top-rated player from the group stages here. Maybe there's hope yet. Art dead over on short, and so now it will fall solely to Yuri. Needs an ace clutch if he wants to put this one on the board for FURIA. And it feels so unlikely. They're holding for him out the window. They'll deny another one of these Yuri clutch attempts. Heroic taking it one step further than the last time they broke the dreams of FURIA on this stage. And they've got a chance to sweeten that deal even more before this first half is all said and done.
Yeah, and that third map's ancient, Harry. That's where that heartbreak happened, right, in that previous head-to-head. So it's definitely in the back of your minds right now for all FURIA and the fans. This is such a statement for Heroic. We've seen every player with their moments. No weak gap, no hole to exploit. Another fast play, another desperate dive into this A site. The smokes come down. There's even missed ones for FURIA as well. This one's not going as well as they would have liked it. stavn's even dunk drop. Yuri has to run through the util, but cadiaN right on a skewer, right on a plate. He will serve up justice.
He's nailing shot after shot. cadiaN is in his element. Big stage games, he's coming alive, and he's gonna close it. Heroic with a ludicrously dominant first half. This one sends a message. Even though FURIA win that first map, Heroic are still here to play in the series. comedian stands up to a silent crowd, but joking he's not. The ace up his sleeve is the resilience and determination of this squad. Throughout their careers, the one thing they've been able to rely on is the folks sitting next to them. That couldn't be more true now as they look to repeat history by coming back versus FURIA and turning the tide of this series with a stellar first half under their belts. They've done the legwork to make this a 3-mapper and to still have a fighting chance here for IEM Rio.
It's just them. They've got no one in this building. Heroic with a big fake. This is crazy. They're going for the split through jungle into CT. FURIA don't budge. They don't move a muscle on this B-hold. Yuri still remains in the site for now. Art's about to get that info. The bomb pops out. He holds his shot. He buys his time, and then he strikes. FURIA, they feast in this round, but it is one step in a totem pole that is very tall. The celebrations will not start yet.
No, if anything, you feel relieved that you have a second chance here, right? That's all this represented. It's not a guarantee, it's so far from it, and they know that. They've launched comebacks before, only to have it stolen away in overtime the last time these teams met in Rio. But they've taken the first step on this marathon journey. Now they've got to stick the landing in the anti-ecos, start to chain some rounds together, start to build a bit of confidence. Because that's what this team is desperately lacking right now. They've been in their heads a bit. They could feel this game slipping through their fingers. And with so much on the line, the do-or-die nature of this game, the fact it's happened before, felt like FURIA were destined to repeat it, but taking these first few steps can sometimes be the hardest. This is looking good for the clean conversion, and they're playing with bravado as well. They're facing these pistols, they're hunting down the heroic members one by one, and they're staking their claim to Mirage. The real test comes next. The real test is in this next round.
Yeah, pistol is irrelevant if Heroic win first gun. Doesn't even matter, doesn't make a dent. And so Heroic focus faces coming back into what could be the beginning of the end on FURIA's map pick, pushing us to Ancient, a map where history was already made by Heroic at Rio last time. Meanwhile, FURIA look for another hopeless, helpless comeback.
And here's the thing, while Heroic have a lead like this, they are a threatening team. They can throw pacey rounds at you. They can go for more FURIA-esque looks. They know they've got a bit of room, so they're trying to flex with that, but Art sends them packing out of a fast B play. The quick offensive that was taking shape here never materializes, and so cadiaN tries to be the difference maker, but he's flubbed it on the day of the exam. Yuri with the response. He didn't shoot first, but he had that few seconds of warning, that missed opportunity, and was able to deliver.
Oh, he gets that last laugh. stavn's still here though. They hide out in the smoke. This is very dangerous. FURIA taking solo fights, giving away in here potentially. stavn hunts down this flank. Jabbi needs to live for this to be worthwhile. The bomb gets dropped, coming back by Yuri. Jabbi can still take it. He relies on stavn in this round to get this entry. Arm seen, but shot not destined. stavn needs his. Jabbi gets given it. Right now, Heroic are pulling it back. Not a 2-on-4. Not like this. FURIA, we said the celebrations can't come yet. And in fact, it might be commiserations that Heroic deliver. 2-on-4. Now down to cadiaN. The clutcher can't do it. And they say revenge is a dish best served cold, but Heroic do not conform. They deliver it right on time.
And it's in these moments, it's in, you know, rounds like this where cadiaN is normally that dependable piece, but he's had a couple of clutches in this game that have been snuffed out. He's had a few moments where if that one shot just connected in the right way, if they weren't canceling him out so hard, it could have been a whole different story. But you start shutting cadiaN out in clutches, You slow his roll from the lights out start that he had, and you remove one of the key pieces, if not the key piece of this FURIA squad.
For sure. Think about some of the brainy plays he's made that on paper look great, but both times have been countered. The connector wrap, back to wrap on the defuse. He had no time. He had to hit his immediate shot. He couldn't. cadiaN orped him. Oh, and the other round where cadiaN orped him as he went from wrap to palace on the reset. It's been read every step of the way for Heroic. And 3 rounds now from a 3rd map in this quarterfinal. Do FURIA have anything left to say? Or will they roll over?
Just feels like, you know, Heroic are on that villain arc.
Yeah. Entering that era.
Yeah, they like being the bad guys.
Oh, they've been here for a while. It's nothing new. Business as usual. Bad boys.
Serato involved in the opening fight. Struggling at nailing the late round, but here he opens up for FURIA, trying to give them something to hold on to. This is another one of these rounds where FURIA hold all the cards. They cannot afford to let this one get out of hand. That would be one too many, and was just getting delivered that. One crazy lineup from the Galil suddenly calls it all into question. Oh. FURIA are trembling, they're shaking in their boots. They can't afford to let it get out of control. It's on cadiaN in a 1v3, but you'd be foolish to write him off. 30 seconds. He waits to see what the reaction is from FURIA, and they are giving him a fight. He jiggles, he sees this, but whittled down and knocked out of the round. FURIA stop him in that clutch. Closing the gap again, as now Heroic, the money bottoms out. FURIA, this is where they can start stringing a couple of rounds together, saving a bit of face.
It's a sigh of relief. There's only so much oxygen in this room.
Oh, Heroic have put money in.
Okay.
They could have just ecoed here, but they've bought the heat, they bought the investment. They're trying to keep that pressure on. Jabbi and Serato destined to meet over here on this B site. Drop with the spray, and Yabbi's going to open.
Don't lose this.
Also
no.
only good for one, and Serato has been overwhelmed. This was pistols. This was nothing for Heroic, and they're the ones sitting in pole position.
Done.
FURIA don't even want to attempt it. And so with nothing more than a collection of pistols by their side, the Dregsy utility, they find this round. FURIA don't start to chain rounds together, don't start building. That is stopped here and now by the Danes.
And again, it feels like you can pin it on a player, right? You can see that spray from drop, and you know that's not enough. Not in that moment. It's so hard to be a Bianca. It's so hard to hold strong. But run at by Tech 9s at that range, and you have a rifle, no excuses. FURIA needed more from their young player. And he goes quiet at the worst moment. 14 now. This was supposed to be eco rounds. This was supposed to be FURIA's confidence building beat up. And drop gets sent to detention.
FURIA are forcing back in, but man, like, you know, that last round was meant to be one of the easy ones. That was meant to be where they build a bit of faith, and instead, you know, like the rug's been pulled out from under them. Where maybe you could have had cause for rooting for this comeback. I think so much of it just hinges on winning those rounds, those sorts of rounds. The ones that would go in the way of FURIA on Inferno. And for FURIA, there's always been this feeling of not wanting to disappoint, right? Everyone in the building's rooting for them. Neymar's in attendance rooting for them. They've got a lot of folks here that they want to do right by, and it's in games like this where that pressure is working against you.
Mid take late, 50 seconds. Heroic come out from under, 4 players here. sjuush is the lurker. Reprised round for Heroic to overwhelm this A site. Yuri close, the first line of defense. Drop, no gun for this job. He's got to let it happen. He's got to let them dive in, and they do. Yuri with 2. There's still this scout at the back of the site, but Heroic attempt another 2v4.
FURIA are just barely keeping their heads above water here, trading round for round. They might keep that little glimmer of hope burning on if they convert this one. sjuush left up in the clutch. And with no time left, he's just going to have to bow out and let this one slip on by. FURIA, they didn't bring a lot into this, and they're able to close it cleanly, to step in the right direction again, but every step they've taken has been followed by an immediate stumble, by an immediate fall down. And if that happens at this sort of scoreline, you know, you are looking at Heroic having done it. There's no second chances anymore. There's no shots at redemption. Everything's got to be picture perfect from here on out for FURIA. The Barbarians of Heroic are at the gate.
They're angry. Vengeance for the first map at least. And vengeance for a tournament run for FURIA that may fall on dead ears at this point. 14-7. No CT orbs either.
See, in this timeout, it's a weird one. You know, I think the angle you have to try and push if you're Gary here is this idea of, look, last time we faced them, we got 10 in a row to force an OT.
Hey, you only need 9.
If they're able to replicate that now, that is what wins them the game, right? So you kind of approach it from the angle of, we've done this before.
Arrogant confetti moment. But it's the power of believing, the power of faith. Is that enough for FURIA? Heroic storm out ramp yet again. Yuri out on an island, still takes one with him. stavn gets run down. FURIA playing like they've got nothing to lose. They beat every Molotov. They push every player. And Heroic thrown back into the tumble dryer yet again. At least it's warm. But it is claustrophobic. Stuck in Palace in a 1v5. FURIA stay alive.
A reassuring sight to see, the first time they would have streaked rounds together since the pistol. So it represents a big deal for FURIA here. A feat they haven't accomplished yet on this CT side, about to be obtained. And with it, breaking that money of Heroic all over again.
And these are the confidence-boosting rounds, right? Not just this, but going into seemingly pistols, right? Heroic have gone for some early force buys in this game, but this one shouldn't be one of them. We'll see if sjuush saves his gun. If he does, that might tempt the team, but without it, it's a far cry. And they might just kill him after time. It seems like they've got him boxed in. They know it, so wait 20 seconds. Put the pressure on him. And then get rid of all that money. This kind of forces sjuush to make a play. I think he realizes he is being trapped right now. He is being played with. A smoke down in the last 10 seconds, more than likely. Or he has to fight through one of these choke points. That's a good timing on the smoke. They're still going to come for him.
Yeah, if anything, now the contact just has to come from behind, right? They're saying it's safe, like, all right, you move up, you take the first contact, we'll come through this smoke. He is not leaving the round with the gun. That's what FURIA have told themselves, and they'll make it so.
Massive.
They knock him out after the timer expires. Heroic now with one man strapped for cash as that hunt collapses down upon them.
And hey, I said if he saved the AK, that might, you know, elicit a force. Well, same situation. You have no money. May as well get everyone on the same page. Put everything in. But Heroic will hold out for now. It's still double eco. sjuush is screwed for later. But Heroic can't think about that now. They're going to flood out Palace and try and plant B. So I don't think FURIA are going to rotate. No need if they slaughter this hold. I say that actually. Hello!
Oh,
that realization setting in. And they will not let him get away with it.
Three in a row. It's a marathon, not a sprint at this point if you're FURIA. There is still so much work to be done. We'll have another round. It's a little more tamed, a little more tepid from Heroic. Heroic is still playing into the confines of holding this lead, right? They don't feel the pressure to bring a buyout just yet, so they have everything they want, everything they need. Rifles for everyone, AWP for cadiaN. And they still have a reason to believe in this round from the pistols, from the armor, and the utility. This would be FURIA getting to double digits and feeling like this comeback is possible. They chain together these kills on the ramp fight. Even through the smoke, taps out cadiaN. A feel-good moment for the captain of FURIA.
They are playing very aggressive, right? Sure, it's you know, still against pistols, but even in that previous gun round they won, they're pushing through Molotovs. They are bringing the heat to Heroic. Easier said than done. Whether that will be the punish, we'll have to see, but they've been doing their best to deny clutch attempts for Heroic, keeping it pretty tight. So double digits now, anything is possible. That 9 rounds in a row they needed, just over a third of the way there.
You know, you kind of move the goalposts each time, right? At the beginning, this felt like a mammoth undertaking when you were sat 14-6 down. Nothing really to be too happy about. Yeah, it probably did feel impossible. But with each round that's racking up, FURIA's faith is building. Heroic, no, there's no time like the present to exert their control over this game again.
I like the eco for cadiaN. He plays D, which still gives him a way in, but he's at the back throwing nades. So there'll be guns around for him. He can get the AWP later. Again ahead of the util, but this time the punish comes through. Entry onto Art, and it all comes unraveling.
Yeah, FURIA are faced with an awkward fight here, an awkward retake. They bring stavn out of the round with the nades, and so that tipping of the scales back into the 4v4 surely spurs them on.
Just so much space.
Heroic have a man lost over in mid. Tessa's going to play into the round late, so he's here to try and clutch if it comes down to it, and it's a big if. His teammates still hold the line, still hold position. Jabbi's even up and left to join him, and right now FURIA are being so methodical on this retake. They're taking all this time that it's given room to these players in middle to get set up. This could be robbed by Tessez and Co.
No,
if you're not careful. Molly on the bomb could do it.
Did he do it?
No, it's fallen short for Jabbi. All the way around the world with the goal of robbing FURIA. Not once, but twice.
And it's their own medicine that comes back to bite. They were doing that all first half, never worked. And that smoke goes down on ramp, not on the bomb. They live to regret it, even with the molly missed. That felt like it was enough for FURIA, but they never consider the flank. Disaster strikes, and Heroic lift their head high. One more round till Ancient.
One more round to the homecoming of the big bad, and the score being settled on that infamous map from last time in Rio. Jabbi dead to open this one up. Safe takes that last round personally. Art's also donning his AWP, so AWPs are plenty right now for FURIA. Could this be the change they needed? Art's posted down in the connector. The AWP IGL set to clash here, and it's cadiaN winning it out. Returns the 4v4, returns the even odds bout, the way of his team.
And a B hit again, man, that would be the way. They find sjuush on ramp, but Heroic know the drop has been a weakness in this map. His position, dangerous. He will draw back and go for some jumps, go for some flashes, try and live, try and buy time. Even 1-for-1 here is okay. cadiaN is not far at all. He'll have to take his eyes off the flank, but it will be a requirement. Heroic are about to come flooding out to try and finish the job.
cadiaN's here in good time. Going to be around a help out drop, who's burning in the molly right now. Goes 1-for-1. He's lived up to his side of the deal. cadiaN playing over the lip of this smoke is brought down low. Carey, he's feeling the pressure. He knows so much of this is hinging on cadiaN just staying alive. He's living up to that part of the bargain. His teammates now taking position, and cadiaN goes one step further to keep FURIA in this thing.
Oh, it's a sigh of relief, isn't it? But that pressure's still palpable. Heroic, many attempts, they only need one. FURIA treading water right now. One misstep, one overplay. One multi-kill moment, and your dreams come unraveling. Buy one, get one free. They're back to pistols. Yuri's got a little smoke down on the ramp. He's playing up and over. There's a player wide, but Glock isn't too much of a threat. They should just be flushed out by Yuri.
Yeah, this is his moment to shine.
Oh.
And there's the mow down. Yuri nails this.
Chase him.
And with Art in hot pursuit, won't give you time to get comfortable, won't give you time to reload. He wants it here and now. FURIA are 3 rounds away from overtime, and they are determined to get there. When these teams met last time, it was cadiaN having to do so much. Strong starts from everyone on FURIA. Art was actually the guy top of the board in that Inferno game to open up when these teams met back at the Major. But it was as the competition soldiered on, as the series continued, cadiaN became the only dependable piece. And that right-hand man of Yuri started to disappear. Well, he had a great tournament to open up here in Rio. He was good in the first half of Inferno, and he has really risen to the occasion to give you a reason to get invested in this FURIA comeback here and now. For us, 3 rounds is not that many. For FURIA, it can feel like an eternity.
And that's only just to get the ball rolling again. Finally, money starting to amass, orbs starting to appear. FURIA starting to believe. Heroic look like they want this B site. sjuush has been caught on lurks gone by. B re-smoked at the time Heroic looked like they wanted to go. This is still holding top mid with that bomb in the firing line. Captain awaits to set Tessus up on this mid take. It's the first call here for Heroic at a minute mark. Run boost. Get that AWP out behind the boxes. Dangerous with the bomb. And it's not the best run boost, but there's no punish for FURIA. A flash cadiaN holds up against his team come up catwalk. We still have sjuush on ramp. This might just end with that con split. 50 seconds. And FURIA still look willing to fight.
Heroic have gone mid. FURIA are somewhat giving it to them. They're holding for this window boost. cadiaN doesn't want to be left shy of the action, not with how influential he's been. Yuri even flashed into the connector, doesn't peek off the back of it. 20 seconds as the util comes out from Heroic. This is a very late exec into the round. They're trying to leave it to the dying moment, and they find the openers to get them in. Safe back at the spawn, but it's all unraveling. He's knocked out by the nade, and Heroic have done it. They leave it to the dying lights of the round, the final 20-second play in. But they stop FURIA's comeback in their tracks, and now the score is settled on Ancient.
Yeah, a team that did it all for years online, but these last 6 months for Heroic, they have made